Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Mom's Pearls, where we answer life's questions from a biblical perspective. I'm your host today, Brenda, and I'm here with my lovely co-hosts, Shayla and Leah. We are all moms, and we are sisters in Christ. So today, ladies, viewing fams, we're going to talk about a topic that is dear to my heart, that I lived that life, the struggles of being a single mom. It's not easy, y'all. It's not easy being a mom, even if there's a significant other. So being a single mom is a real struggle at times. We're going to discuss that. We're going to the pros, the cons, the struggles, how we get around it. And I don't know if y'all know, 80% of the children in the world, at least in this country, they live in single mom households. So folks, stay tuned. Be right back. Mom's Pearls. Mom's Pearls. Mom's Pearls.
Right, so let's get into it. So we are talking today about single mom struggles. And like we mentioned earlier, Sister Brenda is kind of familiar with this area.
Yes.
Sister Shayla's a little familiar with this area. So we are really going to let them kind of be our guide, because we really want to unpack what this really means and how we can be better moms, even as single moms, what we can do better. So you guys listen up, take some notes, please comment in the chat. Let us know your thoughts as well, your experiences with this. But we're going to dive right in. So the first thing we want to talk about is co-parenting. OMG, when you become a single mother, that's one of the first things. Now, what position does this put me and my baby father in? What does this mean? How do we work together? So let's talk about it, ladies. What can you do? Can you give us some tips, some thoughts about when your ex has moved on, when baby daddy has moved on, or when you yourself have moved on? Like, how do you still make co-parenting work? What do you think, Sister Brenda?
Well, my experience was dads, they just tapped out. There was no co-parenting. They tapped out. My co-parenting was with the rest of the family who was helping me raise these kids. Really, I don't have a lot of experience in that, because I had really the full reign of, all of that. I can tell you though, when I did get married and they were teenagers, or just like 20 teenagers like that, the relationship that came with my husband, I had to learn to take a step back from, because I was always, what y'all talking about? What y'all talking about? Because I had, the full control over them all these years. And one day my husband said, this conversation is not for you. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's not for me. It's my kid. But I had to realize he was taking that step as the man, a father role with them, and having discussions that really I couldn't have with them. I'm the mom. So I really couldn't, I couldn't have that. And I had let, my brothers, my father, be their male guidance and mentors, and till for their lives. And so now when I'm married to this man and he's taking this interest in them, I had to learn, okay, now your role is done. Now you go sit down somewhere, because not everything is for you. And it's hard to do.
Right. And I can imagine, though, when you're co-parenting with your baby father, it would have to be the same way, because you won't have that full reign. You will have to let him parent the way that he wants to parent, the way that works best, so that he's building his own genuine relationship with that child. What do you think, Sister Shayla?
Well, honey, I was totally different. When I tell you, when it came to co-parenting, I didn't want him around my babies. I didn't want his girl around my babies, because I want to be with everybody else. Because, because of the way things happen. So it took a lot of God, a lot of prayer, which my grandmother and them were putting on me at the time, to actually just get past this thing of me being, then to allow him to even come around my kids, to allow him to even talk to them. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, my grandmother and them would say, they need their dad. They need their dad. It's like,
Sure.
no, they don't. You know, I can take care of this. I can take care of this because Shira can handle this. But Shira couldn't. They didn't need their dad. And so, with that being said, I did allow him to start, coming around the kids. The kids would be able to go with him, and Lord have mercy. And it was a struggle. It was a struggle. But at the end of the day, God came in and he worked things out. And right now we're fine. We're friends. We can talk. We can do all that without me wanting to beat up everybody. Kids, I want to beat up kids, parents, grandmamas. I didn't care. Everybody wants to go get some of that. But God did that. And my kids, I mean, they really appreciate the fact that they were actually able to go around their dad, actually talk to him on the phone. I wouldn't allow them to do nothing when it came to him.
Yeah.
That's where we have to get out of ourselves.
Exactly.
It come first. You know what I'm saying? So I had to get out of Shayla or Shira and let God come in and take over the situation and handle it. And look at them. I think they turned out rather well.
And I think that speaks to your maturity level as well. Just the maturity, to have that maturity to really realize it's not just about me. He and I had this relationship. It was supposed to turn out like this. It didn't. I'm hurt. I'm devastated. But at the end of the day, there are still products, which are the children of this relationship, that I still have to consider. And I really have to, and I think this is just so important for single mothers, I really have to put these individuals first. Their needs, what's best for them. And like you said, that's what your grandmother and family members were telling you. Like, we get it. You love him. We understand the hurt and the whole situation, because at the end of the day, when we get involved with these guys, a lot of times so do our family members. They get involved with these individuals.
Yes.
So
they like, oh, no, you didn't, so they ready to ride for us the same way.
Yes.
So they understand what we're going through. But just to be able to continue to speak to you and say, hey, listen, that's still not what's best. He still is their father. He still needs to have that relationship. And I think just when it comes to that, it can speak to so many single mothers, because we have to realize that it is imperative that our children still, if he wants to be involved, and Sister Brenda said, like, Shay, you don't want nothing to do with him. That's entirely different. We just have to pray and submit that thing to God and just get other influences around there. But at the end of the day, we have to be mature enough when we get into a position that we didn't ask to be in a lot of times as a single mother, So when we get in that position, we have to be mature enough to just say, okay, God, help me to get over my hurt and to do what's best for my children.
Right.
Help me to
And
put
there's
my children
one
first.
important thing that I will say: do not, under any circumstance, talk bad to your children about their father.
Amen.
I don't care how trifling that man might be. You are doing your children such a disservice. Don't do that. Let your child grow up and decide when they get old enough how they feel about their father, when their father has been in their lives, the interaction, what they've done for them. That's on them to grow up into adulthood and have that. And if there's a conversation to be had, then let them have it. But in no way, form, or fashion, whether you're the mother or the father that's raising up this child on your own, do not bash the parent to them. I don't care how much you
agree 110%.
Yes. That's number one thing that we have to get past ourselves, and don't do that.
And that's the first thing we want to do. Is we want to
of course. If they trifling, Because remember, at one time, they was the cat's meow. They wasn't trifling then. So hey, it is what it is.
Yes. And see, I thank God that I never did. I never did.
Yes, me either.
They knew I wanted to beat them up. They knew that, but it was. I thank God that I didn't badmouth. You know what I'm saying? Because truthfully, everything played out so they could see it for themselves.
Exactly.
You know
It'll come in.
See it for themselves, and Mama didn't have to. And see, that's one
exactly
thing.
Right.
That's the first thing we want. That's our go-to. We do, and then you know what? If we have done that, if we have badmouthed them, don't beat yourself up. Honey, don't beat yourself up.
Learn from your mistakes.
It happens, I'm telling you, because that's the first thing. That's our trigger effect. What's my saying? My dog, I'm gonna kill your cat. You did that, I'm gonna do this. So it's like if you have done it, it's okay. It's okay to just and look. ask for forgiveness. Ask God to forgive you for one.
Yes,
And,
yes,
you know,
yes.
and just go from there, because prayer's gonna take your whole long way.
It's everything, everything, everything. So, ladies, what do you think about how do you go about blending the family when you get into a new relationship and you want to blend these kids together, if there are kids on both sides? How do you feel about that? Like, you know, say the children's father, you're raising a child now, and the children's father gets into a new significant relationship, not no fly by night. He wants to start blending his kids with the girlfriend's kids. And how do you do that? Or you, if you get into a relationship, I know that happened for me, but I had to do it with my husband before we got married.
What my hello.
I know, Shelly,
I
you're not with it.
blend my kids with nobody.
I know you not.
I ain't quick to blend my kids with nobody. I don't care if we first start kicking it, as they said, you know, get to know each other and all that. You got kids, I got kids, and that's what it is. You got kids, I got kids. And then, you know, it could be like 6-7 months later. Well, we can come together, we can do this. No, I'm still learning you. I don't want you. And see, that's just me. That's just me. I'm not quick to put my kids in a situation that I'm not too sure of myself. You know what I'm saying? And to have, man, I mean, you might be falling for the fella, and he might be falling, she might be falling, you know what I'm saying? Vice versa. But you gotta be very careful, blend the eyes. Look, I still need prayer and still need Jesus. So y'all keep praying for me. But I'm not quick. I'm just saying.
So you're saying when your Boaz comes, your children are grown now.
But I got grandkids. I got grandkids.
There's no interaction. You get engaged. You plan on getting married. At some point,
yes,
you have to blend in this family.
It won't be quick, is what I'm saying. It won't be no.
Oh yeah, I understand. You know, I understand that.
It's gonna be a little bit of time.
Exactly. Yes.
I think it has to be. I think you have to take time. I think you have to be diligent about it because our children are so important. So I do think that you have to take the time to pray about it, you know, take the time to make sure this is the right relationship for you. But when you decide this is the person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with now, and they have kids and I have kids, you know, how do we do all this? The number one thing that comes to mind for me is communication. Because parenting is so difficult. When you say, I mean, I know even for me, when I say I want to do this with the kids, and my husband like, oh, we want to do this with it is communication. And when you have other fathers and other mothers, you know, from previous relationships that are involved with these children, you owe them the right and the respect of communication.
That's true.
So you just have to be willing to say, okay, so how does this look? You know, you have to have these conversations before you get into this marriage. You have to say, okay, so if I say to her, she has to go to bed at 9 o'clock, I don't want you coming back and getting in my face. We need to be in agreement on this. Because if she goes back and tell her mom, and her mom goes off, you know, you need to be able to say to mom, you don't have to come to my wife. You can come to me because we created this child. This is what we agreed upon. We think this is best. So you have to have, trust me, ladies, before you get married. It makes it easier. It makes it easier. That way ain't nobody, oh, they disrespected me. No, so you have the expectation. So we have the understanding so that it's clear. So that when we go into the marriage, I know what I said. You know what we said, what we agreed upon, what we decided on. We can now put it into effect with no issue. We don't want to have to be arguing about this after we're married. Well, you know, my baby mama did. We talked about it, and she do want them to stay up to 10. No. But you know, and now it's an issue between you and your new spouse. Right. We don't want that. So have these conversations before and think about all aspects of it.
So what would happen if you change your mind when you're married and actually in a situation?
What do you mean change your mind? Like how?
Look, how we're telling the child, well, I need you to go to bed at 9 o'clock, and they feeling that they can do what they would probably do at home, go to bed at midnight, and the husband or the new wife, or you standing in the middle, and the husband and the new wife is there. How can you change and say, can we as a parent say, never mind, just go ahead and do what you was doing, or never mind, go, are we gonna stick to our guns as far as what was
Wait,
said. You going to
I'm,
bed. Should we change up on anything? You know what I'm saying? Because
wait, you're the new into the father's relationship life, you're saying,
right,
and his child is coming over, and should you stick to your guns as far as how you run your household?
right.
Right. Yes.
Should we stick to our guns?
Yes.
Because I mean, it's gonna be a good one and a bad one regardless. Now, I mean,
because
God, both of us just gonna be good. But should we stick to it? Because now, mind you, we probably already talked this over with our spouse, male or female, him or her. We spoken this over with them, but then with the child coming in, with things going on at their house and they're coming in, and should we stick to our guns or should we just let down a little bit to let them do what they do?
No. You stick to your guns, because what goes on in my house is my house. What you do over there is what you do over there. But when you come into this home, this is how we do things here. So when my husband and I, got together, got engaged, got married, there was only one child, because we're like the Brady Bunch, 3 boys, 3 girls. And there was only one that was young, a dependent child that we had to be on one accord with in raising her, as far as how she's being raised when she's in our presence, in our home, because outside of the home was the total opposite. There was no bending for what was going on. She very well knew I act a certain way here. I can't do what I do there, here. So, and she got structures, she got all what a child's supposed to get, because the child is not coming to your home. I don't care who child is and run your house. That don't happen. That's just not happening. I don't care whose kid it is. You got to get a grip. If you're not going to get a grip, I'll get a grip for you. And if you don't like it, you and your kid can leave and don't come back. Either one of y'all, yes, how you feel. And I have had to do that.
That's real talk.
Because you're not going to come up in my house and just do what you please. I'm sorry. I am the adult. No child, even my own grown children. So. But
what if you want to keep the man and the woman?
Listen, honey, that much keeping in the world. God already had that covered, and it's not that much keeping in the world. We're going to be one accord. We're going to be on one accord. I am so blessed. I am so thankful to God that we were on one accord. Sometimes I tell my husband, I'm like, oh, babe, I think you're a little too rough right now. Because it was like no nonsense. It was, it was full of love. But a child has to be a child and raised accordingly. My motto was in the home, this is a dictatorship, not a democracy.
And I think like sometimes too, you have to continue to lift those things up in prayer, because sometimes Sister Brenda was very blessed, like you said, to have a husband who already knew. But sometimes when you're younger, the husbands, even though they want to be husbands, they don't know how to do the right thing. And it just takes one influence. So the baby mama tell them, well, you need to be doing this. Then the wife trying to tell them, well, you need to be doing it.
Yeah.
So they can be very much, in turmoil. I'm not sure, and they're not motherly. So, just having that natural what to do with the kids, how, what's best for them. So it is just so important, if you are that wife in that position, to just lift that thing up in prayer and just say, honey, listen, in integrity. We have to keep our integrity. This is what we said we were going to do. Behind closed doors, not in front of the kids, not in the argument.
Oh, never.
But no, we have to keep our integrity. We have to be a unit. This is what we agreed upon when we said I do, when we decided to get married. It's us. So we can't have the outside influences in our home. So we just have to, so you have to really keep those things lifted up in prayer, and you really have to just have those conversations
and the communication.
Constantly.
Like you said, communication is number one key in having this whole discussion. And things happen, things go left, and then we sit down and we talk about, so how are we going to handle this? What do you think we should do? And we both give our opinion, and then we come to a mutual agreement. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to handle it. Because for a year and a half, this particular daughter lived with us in the household for a year and a half. So there was things that we had to be like all the time, sitting down, the school's calling. I'm going to him right away. Like, look, this is what the school says. What we're going to do? What should we do? And then that goes into, do you have a right to discipline your significant other's children or not? Now, that is a question right there. Like I said, all the kids were grown, so it wasn't like that type of, disciplining type of thing, except for this one child. She's living in a household. We are her sole providers. At some point, you have to have discipline rights because you're raising this child in your household. You can't be like, no, you can't, you can. No, it don't work that way. I have to.
That's that key word. I mean, key words. You got to be on one accord.
Yes.
You've got to be together, because I'm telling you, one child can come in and shred a household.
What?
Shred a household. Like you chopping up a piece of pork, making you pork. One child can come in and shred it.
And now, mind you,
one accord.
I disciplined this child with never putting my hands on her.
That's awesome.
At all. I was able to do that, and I didn't want to do that because of the situation what we were dealing with. I just put the fear of God in her.
Hello.
So when I was fast, my head would spin around and pop out my eyes, she knew, oh, okay, oh, all right. She knew you gonna straighten up and fly right. So I didn't have to do that. And I'm thankful for that. Her father was like, do what you gotta do. I'm like, nope, I'm not gonna put my hands on her. I'm handling it a different way. And she got the message. She when she had to, she straightened up. But ladies, thank you for your input on that. I knew that was gonna be a topic for you, Sheila. Like, what?
Yes.
And now let's get ready for the Pearl of the Week. Yes.
Well, hello, ladies. We're back. Now, the Pearl of the Week, y'all know Sister Janelle don't be playing. She just go in. Quit. Now, I have a question. And y'all know what it's about? It's about money. Woo-hoo.
Talk about being a single mom without it.
And we need them coins. We need them coins. So, should we automatically put our exes on child support?
If I had more thumbs.
Hello.
Yes.
See?
Yes.
Brenda?
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't because, well, I just didn't. It was going to be a whole lot for me to deal with. One, I knew it was like you're not going to get blood out of a stone. So that's how I was looking at it. And then the other one, I was just like, it's too stressful. I'm trying to raise these kids. I'm trying to do what I got to do. I was blessed that their grandparents were very, very in their lives. My parents, not only as my support when I was working and things like that, as financially too. And I thank God so much because God is so good. He made a way for me, to make a way for my children, that they didn't suffer, that they had great godparents who, also stepped in, and it was a true blessing. I didn't turn back. My main thing is just being in their lives, because you don't, even though the father might not contribute financially, and I got mature enough to understand that, it does not make you don't keep them away from, like some others. Oh, well, he's not giving no money, so you're not going to see your kids if you don't give me some money. That is detrimental to your children, because your child is not here for a paycheck. Your child is a gift from God. The financials will come. God will make a way, like he did for me. The main thing is having the relationship with the children. So me personally, I believe that's a personal decision that you have to do. But before you go to the courts and put, as they say, put the man in your business, fam, try to make an arrangement with the dad. Just sit down and have a conversation and see if you can work it out that way without having everybody else in the government all in your business, in his business, and see if you can be happy as long as he's sticking to it, as long as he's good and faithful with it. That helps a lot.
And so I didn't have to go to the courts. But I bet you, baby, every Friday I was over there putting my hand out, giving on, drop it, bro. Drop them coins because I got these babies. But no, I didn't have to go to the courts. But he knew that if he had something coming up or something had to be done, he would talk. Okay, cool. I'm good. I don't need it. But if he knew for a fact that if he didn't come through on them coins, boy, I was down there at that county courthouse in there, and I'm signing, I'm doing everything. I'm getting them coins for my baby because it took both of us.
True.
As a child. Now, all those things happen, you're not going to be let out of your obligation because what? You're the one messed up. I'm not. No, you still go help with this child, and like I told you, it took me a minute to let him get in to even see and talk to him. But before that, he was gonna drop them coins regardless. He was gonna drop them coins because my baby, they didn't ask to be here.
No, they didn't.
So with that being said, you're gonna take care of your look. I got half, you got half. Take care of your half. But
And me, I feel
the whole anyway.
As being the mom, that's your first priority. You can't wait to sit around and wait on that father to do his part. You can't. You as the mother, you make it happen. If they come through, they come through. If they don't, they don't. But it's your responsibility. I feel, and I've seen too many women in viewing family. Your child comes first. Don't wait on the father.
Ooh.
The child comes first. If it needs medical attention, needs that food, you got to keep that roof on your head. You have to do what you got to do. You lay down every night and you ask God to get you through the next day, show you a way, get up every morning. Thanks for waking you up. God, how am I going to make it through this day? Just make it so I can keep a roof over these kids' heads so that I can feed them, clothe them, give them a good life. Parenting is hard, y'all. But we do it by the grace of God, because you're gonna make mistakes. That comes without saying.
I think too that is why I'm an advocate for child support, because I think at the end of the day, like you said, you can't wait on the father. You can't wait on him to come around. Everybody doesn't have. Some people have multiple fathers, and like Sister Shayla said, taking that trip every Friday, you out of a job, trying to collect from each of your fathers what they supposed to. Now y'all argue. Now you got to go through. You got da 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 da. So I just think at the end of the day, for me, you know who you're dealing with. A lot of times, ladies, let's be honest. Let's be real with ourselves. We know who we're dealing with when it comes to those guys. By the time we done said we pregnant, they giving us the side eye. By the time we 6 months, they ain't answering the phone. By the time, we already know we in the living room by ourselves. Come on, somebody. So you already know what it's going to look like to try to get them coins. And now you got another one and another one. And so whatever the case may be, just at the end of the day, I think sometimes it's an easier route to just say, okay, I need to set him out and I need him to give it to me and I need y'all to help set this up because I don't have the time. My baby is sick now and I got to do sick duty. I got to be off work. I can't be calling him. He ain't coming by to bring no medicine, but I need medicine. My baby needs care. My baby needs da-da-da-da-da. I got to go to an appointment. Ain't nobody going to be there to take, when I take that time off from working, all that stuff. So I think so many times it's just easier to just say, here, this is what we've got. If you got it, they'll get it and they'll give it to me. If you don't have it, then I still don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Either way, so I just think at the end of the day, child support is one of those things that I'm just like, yes, honey, sign him up. Sign him up before you hit the delivery room. You already know. Sign him up. You already know what it's gonna be. He done left you here. You can't find nobody. You know what I'm saying? You need baby supply. You need diapers for the baby. Get there. You need a crib. You need and he ain't showed up. He ain't said he got. Honey, put him on quickly. Do you need me to call somebody? What you need me to do, girl? What you need me to do? Ow!
In a hurry.
Terrible.
Yes. I have another question for y'all. Now, do you think once we actually got him on child support, do you think the child should know that we're collecting child support from his dad?
No.
That's like knowing my check that comes home at the end of the thing. That ain't none of your business.
It ain't none of your business.
No, none of your business. I don't care even if you 18. This got nothing to do with you. So you go off to school money or whatever, and then I'll send you the money when you go off to college. How about that? In the meantime, in between time, no. So ladies, with that being said, It is time for the question of the week. Question of the week. And the question is, to y'all and viewing fans, let us know. Do you think God has a sense of humor?
Yes.
I do.
Because Lord knows
Definitely.
we funny. And if we made in his image, then God he got to have some kind of humor.
I'll be
Lord,
like,
you know.
Lord, stop playing. You want me to do what? Go
Straight up.
Who? For who?
They long.
Lord,
Yes.
you know I don't like to like
Yes.
that.
I believe he has a sense of humor. I do, because some of the stuff that happened to me, I'd be like, what, really? You get what? No. And then you have to look, you be laughing at yourself. You're laughing at yourself like, wow.
Yes, yes, so true. Well, fams, ladies, it's that time. Unfortunately, once again, our time has run out. Viewing family, we know it's a struggle. For all you single moms out there, believe me, I have been there. But how I got through, it was all God.
Come on.
Give it to him. Look to God. Proverbs 3:5-6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. And do not lean on your own understanding. We know not.
Yes.
In all ways, acknowledge him, and he will make straight your paths. He was making my path straight and giving me paths to shovel it and guide me and walking ahead and beside me. And I didn't even know it. I didn't even know it. So just trust in God. Give it to him, ladies. We are women. We are God's greatest creation. He got us. So join us every week for Mom's Pearls, where we discuss life's questions from a biblical perspective. Bye. See you, fam. Be blessed. Bye.
Mom's Pearls.